This is the 2025 Honda Civic Sport. Is it a better option than the hatchback? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day today. I'm at Holmes Honda to give you the information to help answer that question as we work our way through the video. If you want to know more about this particular model or anything else they have here at the dealership, check out the link in the description of the video. And a change for 2025 besides the refresh to the front end, including the new active air curtains that we have right here that allows air to flow through the front end. That's going to help improve your gas mileage a little bit. We'll also have the widened lower grille down here. The big change we'll see here on this particular model that is different for 25 is the exterior color of Blue Lagoon Pearl. I think that's a very nice color. It seems to pop really well here in the bright Louisiana sunshine today. And everything seems to match. Gloss black seems to work well with this color, at least in my particular opinion. We're gonna have LED headlights and LED daytime running lights, also LED tail lights on the rear. And we'll take a quick look here at our tire and wheel setup. Obviously, this is front wheel drive because that's all you can get with the Honda Civic. We're looking at 235 with the width. The sidewall is 40 as far as the series goes, and the 18-inch gloss black wheels. Now, another way to take advantage of this bright Louisiana sunshine right here in that we have the remote right here. You can see what all is there, including remote start. You can push the button right there to pop open the trunk, lock, unlock. If you panic, hit that button right there. And you have a lot of airbags in the interior in addition to other safety features such as your driving aids that Honda Sensing offers, which includes adaptive cruise control, collision mitigation braking, road departure mitigation, lane keeping assist, and traffic jam assist. By the way, going back to that remote, it is a proximity key. You do have the walk-away feature, something that I know a lot of you like to have. Now, these are not power folding side view mirrors, they're power adjustable, but manually folding. Well, they're also heated, and you'll find blind spot monitoring right there. And we'll work our way around here to the rear. I told you have LED tail lights. A little bit of a different look with the tail lights this year compared to what we've seen in the past. And we have the singular exhaust outlet back here. What do you think about that? It just seems to bring more balance, at least in my opinion, when you have one on each side. But then again, when you're driving down the road, does it really matter? That's an interesting question to answer. Under the hood is the 2-liter direct injection 4-cylinder. It makes 150 horsepower and 133 pounds-feet of torque. It's made to do a CVT. Now, you might say, wow, that just is way underpowered. Try it before you make a decision. You might be surprised at how well it gets down the road based on those numbers. How about your MPGs? Let's see what the window sticker tells us. We're looking at 31 city, 39 highway, 34 combined, and 2.9 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. And when it comes to your gas tank size, if you're curious to know, this is a 12.4 gallon gas tank, and that's not going to change. You'll have 12.4 gallons whether you go with a sedan such as this or with a hatchback. And now we get into the primary differences. First of all, styling. Obviously back here with the sedan, you're gonna have the deck lid instead of having the whole hatch area come all the way back like this. A little bit more of a rounded look, a little more sporty looking, maybe we could say. And we'll also find a major difference in cargo capacity. Maybe not major, but there is a difference. Here with the sedan, we're looking at 14.8 cubic feet. If you go with the hatchback, you're looking at 24.5 cubic feet. And you obviously won't have the shade that you can pull across here and use as a cargo cover because you don't need that when you have the sedan like this. Everything's going to be hidden away anyway. And last but not least, another difference is that to lower the rear seats with the sedan, you pull on these releases and then you're going to come here into the interior. I guess you could reach inside if your arms are long enough and just push these seat backs down. On the Civic hatchback, the release is built into the seat in this area. I know a lot of people like to see how things look maximized. There you go. That's what it looks like. And there is one more important point here that I like to bring up, and that is the presence of a spare tire. No tire repair kit. As far as what your rear seat passengers are going to find, the armrest on these door panels are comfortable, My personal preference would be to see this area, instead of having an angle, just have it flat. It just seems like it would be more comfortable. You do have a bottle holder right here that could also be used as a door bin. Not as big as what we have in the front seat. And basically, that's about it for the most part. No air conditioning vents, no USB connectivity. Now, you do have a fold-down armrest right here with the cup holders built in. There is an oh crap handle. In case the driver wants to drop the hammer on 150 horsepower, there is the oh crap handle at every door. And we'll also find there's no sunroof here, but a very comfortable, to me it feels pretty roomy. Now, keep in mind, I'm 5'10", so I do have a little bit of space above my head. Somebody over 6 feet tall definitely needs to sit in the front seat. And one thing I do want to cover while I'm thinking about it with these front seats, the driver and the passenger seats are both manually adjustable on the sport trim level. However, one thing that is good here is that you can raise and lower the height of the seats in addition to changing the different positions as far as the seat back and the position of the seat itself go. In this particular case, this model does not have a sunroof. You may have seen my video I just put out maybe a day or two prior to this one, where I showed the Civic Hatchback, the 2025 model. Its sticker price was $29,000 even. What's the difference between that and the sedan? In the case of this 25 Civic Sport Sedan, we're looking at $27,800. So a little bit of a price difference between those two models. Let's see what else you get for the sticker price. As I mentioned earlier, you have more door space with the armrest and with the door bins. So that's always nice to know. Definitely what I would call more of a true door bin than what we have in the rear. That's more of a bottle holder, although like I said, you can use it as both. And here with the driver's side door panel, you can control everything you need to with your power side view mirrors as far as the positioning goes. Lock and unlock, you can lock or unlock the windows, and you have one touch down and one touch up front windows. The rear windows, you have to hold the buttons down to lower and raise those. And you can see some of our other features here that we have, including our traction control right there. The lever right here, you drop that down like that, and it allows you to adjust the tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. On the steering wheel itself, we're going to have cruise control, our adaptive cruise control, all that setting over here on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, you can control the radio station you're listening to, volume, voice commands are right here. And then via the home button and the scroll wheel right here, you can go through and make a lot of changes. In fact, you can go to vehicle settings. If I want to go through that, I'll just start scrolling is all I have to do, and I can see what I can go through, what I can see and change. Now to go back, all we do is hit the home button, and then we can scroll through all of the other features and functions that are here. I'm not going to go through and touch on each one, but you can see what is here. One question I have had in the past that I'll answer: can you get rid of the digital speedometer here in the middle? No, you can't. It's kind of interesting to have a digital and analog speedometer on the same instrument display. Over here on the left-hand side, we're going to find the multitasking control that you can use to control your headlights. You can put those onto auto. It's too bad you can't turn the blinkers onto auto. Maybe we'll have that one day. Who knows? But there are some vehicles that basically do have that. You just have to have basically semi-autonomous driving to make that work. And that's a very interesting thing to deal with. Not on these Hondas, but on other vehicles. Right here we have the controls for your windshield wipers because you don't have a rear window wiper. And for the person who wants simplicity, just in case I didn't cover this earlier, I think I did with the headlights, but that flickering effect is not really happening. It looks like that through the lens of my camera, but not to the human eye. So we have a very nice 7-inch touchscreen here that is also very simplistic. So for the minimalist out there that don't want too much technology, well, this is the right place to be. You can connect your smartphone, you have media, all that different stuff with your one-touch buttons right there. And then you also have the knob right here, some of the old school technology here, if we can call it that, for turning the radio on and off and controlling the volume and also the station. Single zone climate control is going to be here, but it's here. The air seems to be working very well even at that. So No wireless charging on this trim level, but you go higher trim levels. Sport Touring will definitely have your wireless charging pad right there, but you will have a couple of USB options and a 12-volt power outlet. If you wanted to, you could actually buy an adapter that's a 12-volt with USB on the other end and run that back to your rear seat passengers if it's a long enough cable, and then they can have some USB options. And we do have a backup camera, 3 different views. Got the sun kind of shining right in, so that washes the shot out just a little bit, so it makes it not look quite as clear as it actually is, but you can see what's there. You also have your trajectory lines and our traditional style shifter right here. Here's our drive mode selector. We'll see what our drive modes are. In fact, we're going to start in normal. Every time you turn the ignition off, it goes back to normal no matter what driving mode you're in. You have eco, you also have, or econ I should say, and you also have sport mode. If you're looking to turn the auto stop start system or idle stop off or on, depending on your preference, there's the button for that. You also have the power parking brake and brake hold mode right here, cup holders, and some space within the center console. Now, how much space? Well, that much space. A reasonable amount of space, probably more than you might expect on a smaller sedan like this. You can put that tray in 2 different places, or you can just leave it out depending on what you want. Also, the glove box right here that is holding the wheel lock key in that little black bag. Okay, here we go on the test drive, and I want to do the test over the railroad tracks for noise and ride quality, so let's listen. Got a little bit of road noise there going over the tracks, but not terrible. The thing about that is that obviously it's real quiet in here. Fan speed is on low, no radio on, so that does make a difference. The ride quality itself is definitely good. I'd say it's acceptable. Definitely not going to beat you to death, at least on the roads I've been on. The road that I just came off of is actually very rough, and while there was a good bit of road noise from that because of the road quality more than anything else, the ride quality didn't suffer from that, so that's nice. But the thing I like about these Civics is that you have a balance of a nice, comfortable ride quality with great handling characteristics. This car, my terminology for describing what the experience is I say it feels like the Civic is sucking itself to the road. It feels that well planted and very stable. The low center of gravity sure helps. And the steering is good and tight, very responsive, a nice tight turning radius. If you're the person who doesn't need a big vehicle, you don't have a big family, or maybe you're single, whatever the case is, there's so many different options here for multiple people with different lifestyles that the Civic will take care of you with. The thing is, if it works for you and you live in a really big city that's highly congested, this is a great vehicle for something like that. Easy to get around in, you can zip around, easy to get in and out of those tight parking spaces and packed parking lots. And speaking of packed, out there on the roads, when you're driving on those really busy packed roads, especially at rush hour, and you need to get into that tight space, you can do it with your blinker, of course, and at the right time. But that's the thing I love about these Civics, and they're easy to see out of. That makes a big difference too. That's something that's worth a lot. If you've driven a vehicle that isn't easy to see out of, depending on where you live and what you deal with, well, that can be a very frustrating experience, but you don't have that here with this Civic. But keep in mind, you also have that addition of blind spot monitoring. So a lot of great things where that is concerned. The interior for me seems very spacious. As I mentioned earlier in the video, there's a lot of adjustability built into the driver and the passenger seats, and so whoever's driving can be very comfortable and adjust things accordingly. So that's always a good thing. Somebody over 6 feet tall can definitely fit here into the driver's seat and adjust things. That's where I'm always curious to know, if you're, say, 6'3" or 6'4", or maybe taller, do you own a Civic like this? And whether it's a sedan or a hatchback, how do you fit? You must fit or you wouldn't have one, but I'm always curious to know from people who are taller than I am. I'm 5'10", so I can't really give you any information on that other than what I think is possible. But being that you can lower this seat quite a bit and raise it quite a bit, depending on your height, you can definitely set things up as needed. The gas pedal and the brake pedal are very easy to manage, very responsive. Not too responsive on the brake pedal. You don't want too much of a responsiveness there. Just a good balance. It works well. Very easy to adjust to, even if you come from a vehicle that has braking that's maybe overly aggressive, and they are out there. I'm sure a lot of you know what I'm talking about. And obviously the gas pedal, easy to deal with too. And last but not least, I touched on this earlier, but I just love the fact that if you're that person that is looking for the minimal amount of technology, there's not a lot of vehicles that will be better suited for you than these Civics. There is some technology here, but not a ridiculous amount, not an overload. It's not hard to learn. It's not hard to use. You might even be surprised at how much of it you do use once you learn it, for those who maybe haven't had this kind of technology before. So overall, a very well-rounded vehicle. Okay, tell me what you think. Is the 2025 Honda Civic Sport Sedan a better option for you than the Civic Hatchback? Tell me what the primary factors are that drive your decision making. I'm curious to know. I do want to say a special thanks to my friends here at Holmes Honda for loaning me this Civic Sport for the day, and a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. Make sure to subscribe, that way you don't miss any future videos. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I'll see you there.